Hey, what's up everybody? This is Joshua Casper. I'm here with Plugin Boutique. Today we're taking a look at the Synth Anthology 2 by UVI, and more specifically, we're going to take a look at stacking presets inside of the UVI workstation. So if you didn't know, the Synth Anthology 2 is a massive collection of software instruments modeled on hardware. In fact, 77 different hardware synthesizers are packed into this bad boy with 2,500 presets and around 2,000 individual samples from those actual instruments. So that's just mind-bogglingly large. We don't have time to go through everything, but what I want to do is share with you how to stack some of these presets on top of each other to go even further and get even more complex sounds than what are given in the actual preset library itself. So I'm just going to go to sort by categories, and I'm going to choose a bass over here, and I'm going to go with the analog techno bass. Double click to load it inside of the UVI workstation, and I've just got a piece of bassline MIDI and a drum backing track. So let's go ahead and listen to what this sounds like right out of the box. So that sounds pretty grimy, and I like it. Now, if I wanted to add a little bit more sub to it, I could just click right here and turn on that sub. And now essentially we have two instruments in one. We've got a sub instrument being applied or added to that main synthesizer, which is from the Alesis Andromeda keyboard that look like that. And I think that's a really smooth looking layout. I really like how it previews the image of the actual keyboard. I mean, it's just really smooth. However, we're getting off track. Let's go back to stacking patches. But after A being the sub with and without, I actually think the bass sounds better without the sub. So let's get to adding an additional patch to this piece of MIDI. And the way we do that is click this menu right here, and you can see that we can have up to 4. So what I'm going to do is double click this empty slot, which is going to bring up my browser again, and I'm going to add a little bit something else. Let's add a flute, and let's add an analog modeling, and let's just pick something here. And as you can see, when I played that, it didn't play at the same time. What we can do now is actually change that output to be triggered by that piece of MIDI. And we do that by switching it from A2 to A1. And now you can hear and see that we are triggering 2 patches by 1 piece of MIDI, and that's great, but we can get in there and make it a little bit better, I think. So here I am looking at the perk flute lead, and if I wanted to switch back and forth between any of the parts, I can go from part 1 up here to part 2 in that little drop-down menu. Right now, that flute is actually being triggered by bassline MIDI, and I actually want it to be a little bit further up the frequency spectrum. So we can go into Edit, and you can see that the octave here is actually way down low. So we can go up an octave. And we have the ability to go up 1 more octave if we wanted to. And that's pretty cool if you ask me. And obviously if we wanted to, we could go up to 4 different patches being triggered by that 1 piece of MIDI. We're not going to do that in this tutorial, but I did want to show you that the possibility is there. I highly recommend the Synth Anthology 2 just because of how massive it is. But anyway, that's how you stack Synth Anthology 2 patches inside of the UVI workstation. I highly recommend the pack. We're talking about 2,500 presets, guys. And now that we can add them together and have full control over each one of them, I mean, the sound range is just mind-boggling. Anyway, I hope you learned something. We'll see you next time.